Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's second video, day 10, will take us to the 20th of May, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe for a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into the early parts of June. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video today was the EC 30-day look ahead for the UK and the rest of Europe as well. It's back after being away for around 3 months. So that one extends us right way out and towards the final stages of June. Actually, check that one out if you would like to do that. Very gradual the content is beginning to come back, as I promised you it all would. And by the time you get into June, everything will be back, including live streams and long-range updates as well. It's all going to come back, everyone, over the next few weeks. So, you know, all of the things that you love about GavsWeatherVids, all of the content you enjoy, it's all going to come back. And, of course, that's the promise that I made to you right at the start when I had to go off and have my operation. Mrs. P is back home, by the way, everybody. So thank you for all the lovely messages to not only myself, but also Mrs. P as well. So she's back home in GavsWeatherVids Towers now, and he's in good spirits and he's doing well. So, yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for all of the lovely messages that you've been saying to me, and not only to Mrs. P as well. It's been a rotten 2022 so far, but let's hope things are on the up now. I hope so. Right, okay, let's start off searching temperature then. So the CT is currently standing at 12.5, which is 2.5 degrees above average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 9th of May. Been a very warm May so far, and we're going to carry on. It's going to be a significantly warmer than average month, I think. Following on, of course, from warm February and warm March, and also the warm April as well. We're having a very, very warm start to 2022, or first half now, to 2022. Definitely. You can see why I think the CT will go up even further with the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. So looking at London today, and red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London. You can see we're starting off a little bit above average at the moment, but a proper old lift up in the temperature is due over the weekend and into next week. Actually been quite hot, I think, for a couple of days, potentially next week. Could see the temperature going to at least the mid-20s Celsius, got a bit higher. The temperature does come down then after that, but still, you know, remaining quite above average. Even then, there's no sign of, you know, the upper air temperature going particularly cold at least until the end of the month. It does look we'll start to turn a bit more unsettled though as we go into the second half of May now. So over the next week or so, there's going to be lots of dry weather, not completely dry, but a lot of dry weather coming up over the next week or so. But as we go into the third week of May and head towards the final week of May, it does look as though we've got significantly more in way of precipitation spikes going on there. So definitely an increasing chance of some much needed rain. It's been very, very dry through the spring so far, of course, so the rain is needed, and it does look as though we may well find ourselves going into a wetter pattern through the second half of the month. Have to wait and see about that. Temperature anomalies from the 10th to the 18th of May, coming out above average, not only for the UK and for Ireland, but for most parts of Western Europe as well, by the way. And precipitation anomalies from the 10th to the 18th of May are coming out a bit of regional variations, a bit wetter than average Western Scotland and Wales, a bit drier than average through parts of southern England, and significantly wetter than average drier than average, I should say, through like eastern England and eastern Scotland. So it does vary from area to area, but generally wettest in the west and driest in the east. Latest wind from that from earth.northschool.net shows that we're drawing in a westerly wind today with low pressure to the north of Scotland. So this is the latest UK Met Office Euro run for midnight on Friday. We've got low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. We're still bringing in westerly winds then. Over the weekend, high pressure will reach up from the south. We'll see this area of high pressure taking over through the weekend and into next week. High pressure will be dominating weather sitting over and to the east of the country. There will be low pressure in the west, in the Atlantic. And between the two, we're going to start to draw up this much warmer southerly wind. So winds will change to south for the early part of next week, and this is where temperatures really start to lift up. And I think you'll see temperature at least coming into mid-20s Celsius across more southern areas. Icon is looking like this for Friday, again in a flat sort of westerly type flow. Over weekend, high pressure ridges northwards, takes over weather pattern. Doesn't stick around for long though. Lower pressure tries to get in from off the Atlantic, probably being showering rain into southern and western areas. That's as we go to Icon to midday on Tuesday next week, with low pressure west, high pressure to the east, drawing up what looks like quite a warm and unstable southerly wind, but that wind might also be bringing some thundery showers with it. So whether it's dry with these warm southerly winds or whether we get thundery shower breaking out, that does remain to be seen. GFS midnight run, again, looks like that with high pressure to our south, low pressure to the north on Friday, winds in from the west, and then over weekend, higher pressure takes over, dominates the weather for a while through the early part of next week, then lower pressure is trying to come in from off the Atlantic. We draw up that southerly, so it does turn warmer through the early part of next week, but also low pressure could bring some volatility, maybe some heavy showers, possibly even some thunderstorms. I wouldn't completely rule it out, but we keep these southerlies going really right way up toward day 10. By day 10 itself, which is the 20th of May, but we start to break low pressure through from off the Atlantic, and that starts to bring some shower rain into the north and west. But for a while next week, I think it could turn, really very warm indeed. Then in the more extended range with a GFS midnight run, we start to build up this area of high pressure from the west and southwest, so that settles things down as we're going towards the final week of May. High pressure back in control, so mainly dry, warm, fine, sunny weather. Eventually, by the very end of the GFS midnight run, we're just beginning to pull that high pressure out to west a little bit, but even then, high pressure is still mostly in control of the weather. GFS 6 there, again looking pretty flat and westerly for Friday, bringing those west winds from off the Atlantic over weekend. High pressure takes over, brings lots of dry weather with it. Winds turn to the south and southeast, so it will become warmer, but lower pressure pushing in from off the Atlantic starts bringing some showery rain into southern, southwestern areas. And as we push on towards day 10, actually was more unsettled with GFS 6 there compared to midnight run. Quite a significant area of low pressure there across western Scotland by the 19th of May. That brings wet and windy weather into northern and western areas in particular. Less in the way of warmth with a 6 there, I think, compared to midnight run. Let's have a look at day 10. So a little bit on the unsettled side, especially for more northern areas. Excuse me. In more extended range again, high pressure taking over once more. So high pressure back in control as we're heading through the third week of May. That brings lots of dry and quite warm weather with it. We finish up on the 26th of May with GFS 6N. Again, very similar. High pressure just pulled out to our west and drawing in a little bit of a northerly type flow around that area of high pressure. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Thank you so much for doing that. And drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing this or GavsWeatherVids. Why not tell your friends to subscribe as well and help get us to 13.4k subscribers. This hour GM is looking, thank you so much, everyone. This hour GM is looking again on Friday. We've got this flat sort of westerly type flow. And then moving through the weekend, high pressure will reach northwards, settling things down, turns mainly dry, quite warm as well, with winds pulling in from like an east or southeasterly direction. Moving through the middle part of next week, lower pressure and trying to come in off the Atlantic, but it's kind of against high pressure, with winds moving up from the south. It will be turning increasingly warm through next week, but maybe a little bit volatile as well, possibly even setting off some thunder with this kind of pattern. So that's going to be one to watch. That's going to look by day 10. Atlantic then begin to break through a little bit more with a little bit more conviction, possibly bring some show rain into western areas in particular, and slightly cooler temperatures. And then the ECM WF, once again, is looking mainly dry on Friday, but with westerly winds bringing showers to the north. And over weekend, high pressure takes over, slips to our east, pulls up this warm southerly southeasterly flow through the early part of next week, with low pressure combining to the west. We do draw the wind up from the south. It turns warm or very warm, but there could be showery rain within that southerly wind, and there might be enough energy available even for some thunder. By day 10, we've got low pressure just to the southwest of Ireland. That could start to spread outbreaks of rain in front of the Atlantic. So cloud and rain perhaps begin to advance in from the west. And maybe starting to turn a little bit cooler and fresher with that as well. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. So I've got some wet weather coming up tomorrow actually across a large part of England and Wales. So that rain could be quite heavy. Once that gets out of the way, we're going to mostly dry into a week down in the south. There will still be showers though further north. Those mostly dry conditions carry on into the weekend as well. But as we go into the south-southeast, we might start to set off some heavy showers, possibly even some thundery downpours by the early part of next week. And then wet into western areas as well. So it's not dry southerly. There is a chance to be open next week that although it will be a lot warmer and, you know, will increase the humidity, the price to pay for that might be an increase in the risk of rain, possibly longer spells of rain, maybe even thunder. Bear in mind we do need this wet weather though. We are, you know, we have been through a prolonged dry spell. That's so look as we get to day 10 and by then got a more general massive rain moving in from off the Atlantic and to the west and to the southwest. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10, which gets us to the 20th of May from the Icelandic Met Office. 24 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure sitting to our east with lower pressure out to the west, and we bring up this southerly wind. That's quite an unstable southerly wind, potentially bringing warm, but also an increasing risk of some thundery showers. 18 with lower pressure just out to our west, high pressure over France, winds are more from a southwesterly direction. That could bring wet weather into western areas. And then 9, just that does include a John operation run by the way. And then 9 just here have high pressure towards Scandinavia, low pressure west of Ireland. I'll be drawing like a pretty warm and unstable southerly to southeasterly type flow. It all looks quite warm. I think most of those options looking quite warm around day 10. Just a question of how much rain will there be. This could be a warm, wet pattern, possibly even a warm, thundery pattern. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. We'll get us to the 25th of May. 18 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure ridging in from the Azores to Scandinavia. That will bring lots of dry weather. Should be quite warm too. 17 will have the Azores high ridging into France to our south with low pressure to the north. Again, lots of dry and fine weather with that, particularly for the south. And then 16 have the high pressure just a little bit more towards our west, a little bit more of a mid-Atlantic ridge type feature. With trough low pressure to our east, and that could pull in, you know, a rather cool sort of northerly type flow. So the minority option by 2 weeks out is to turn things a little bit cooler and more showery. However, having said that, the majority option is looking relatively dry and quite warm there at 2 weeks away. Share this V2 finally, and then we're done. So, V2 500 millibar height anomalies, breaking down to week periods. The first week period will take us from the 10th to 16th of May. Becoming week, we'll have high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north. Will be lots of dry weather, particularly for southern areas. More unsettled though up in the north, and it should be relatively warm as well. Week 2 will be the 17th to the 23rd of May, with high pressure sitting over just slightly to our east, and that will draw up a warm, potentially very warm, southerly wind. And remember, that could spark off some heavy showers, maybe even some thunderstorms. Week 3 will be the 24th of May to the 30th, with high pressure wind pulling out towards the middle of the Atlantic, low pressure around Greenland and Iceland, and that might start to bring in like a westerly, northwesterly type wind. So still a lot of dry weather with that, but probably turning a bit cooler there in the last week of May. And then week 4 is the 31st of May to the 6th of June. The high pressure event is in the Atlantic, mid-Atlantic ridge, heading up towards southern Greenland. That will bring in the wind from like a northerly or northeasterly direction. That will turn cooler and a little bit more showery, particularly for more northern and eastern areas. So it remains to see what happens when we get into June. We might turn things cooler, but certainly it looks like we're well and truly set for a very warm May. If you've enjoyed the video, please go and smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for doing that. You'll be able to see future weather content. If you do, don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. And why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. For us, we're starting the grind to 14k. I think it's going to take us a long while to get us to 14k subscribers. We're at 13.3k, have been for a month or two now, due to the fact that I had to stop uploading for a month. We'll bring the content back. The subs should start moving again soon, and we are sort of beginning the grind anyway. The 14k will probably be towards the end of the year when we get to that. But for now, the next mini target is like 13.4k. So tell your friends, family, everybody else to subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, we're done then with today's videos. Tomorrow we'll have a 10 to 14 day as well. And as I say, very gradually all of the content that you enjoy is starting to come back. You enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And that's all for now. And thanks for watching.